Lovely. Well, hello everybody in Xinchao. I'm Hallie, and today we will be doing Engineering a Better World with Girl Up. We're so excited to have you join today, and we can get started. So just some instructions as we start today. Let me make sure I mute this. We would ask everyone to please mute your microphone except when you are in your breakout rooms, so that way we can all listen to the content that we're learning about today. We would love for you to turn on your camera if you're interested, so we can say hi to everyone. So if that's something you're comfortable with, please feel free to turn on your camera. And then as well, please use the chat for any questions, concerns, comments that you have. Throughout the whole meeting, that is yours to use. As I mentioned, I'm Hallie. I'm with the Girl Up team. I'm a Learning and Training Associate, and I'm joined today by my colleague, Kayla, who is a Senior Associate with the Training and Learning team as well at Girl Up. And we're just so excited to see everybody and to welcome you all. If you would like to introduce yourself, I would love to get to know you. So if you're able, please go to the chat and type your name, where you're joining us from today. So maybe the country that you're from or the city that you're calling in from, and what you would like to learn today during this event. If you're comfortable as well, please feel free to share your Girl Up Instagram or your Instagram. I know that's a great way for people to connect. So please feel free to share in the chat. Hi, everyone. Thank you for typing this. And I'm seeing some messages about Zoom as well. So I wonder if there's an update going on. Don't mind one moment. I'm glad to see that folks were able to jump on who are here. So thank you for navigating these Zoom problems. But it's so lovely to see everybody. Thanks for typing in. And I wanted to say a special thank you to the lovely team who helped put together today's meeting. So these are our fabulous Girl Up girls. Thank you all so much for your help and for your support throughout this. They were thought partners, they were leaders, and today they will be hosting some of our breakout rooms. So just thank you all to these fabulous girls. A little bit about today's agenda. So we will do a quick introduction this afternoon, and then we'll go straight into breakout rooms. We have a lovely educational presentation, a panel, and then a computer programming activity. So we have a lot to do, and we'll get right into it. And I love seeing these chat messages, so thank you all for continuing to introduce yourself. A special thank you to our partner as well, Caterpillar. They make today's event and many of our events possible, so thank you to Caterpillar. And I want to give one last acknowledgement to the new Lunar New Year, and I'm so appreciative that after those who celebrated, you took the holiday and you were able to start the new year and you came back and joined us today. I really appreciate you taking your energy and time to be back with us in the new year and be back with Girl Up. And we are also celebrating Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day. It was technically 2 days ago, but we're still celebrating. This still counts. So there's a lot to celebrate. And finally, I want to take a moment to read our Brave Space Agreement. So this is something that we hold near and dear at Girl Up, really just to say that this is a space to be comfortable and respectful into each other and our ideas. if you have any concerns or any questions, for example, we had some folks with Zoom questions, we are here to support you. So if you have anything that comes up throughout the meeting that you want support on, please message Kayla or myself. You can DM us in the Zoom chat by saying the to message is to Kayla or it's to me. You can also email us at safety@GirlUp and we will follow up after the meeting. A little bit about Girl Up for those who are new. We are an organization of more than 270,000 girls, and we are in, I think the number this year is 155 countries. So we're so excited to be in places like Vietnam, where we're celebrating today, and throughout the world. And there's a few different ways to get involved. And I'm going to put this link in the chat. But the place I always recommend people to start in is with our Girl Up community. So let me put this in the chat if you're not already a member. The Girl Up community is a great place to meet other girls, see what's going on. You can also join a Girl Up club. If you're not a part of one and you want to start one, you can find out all the information you need on the community platform, which is that link in the chat. And then finally, we have events like this one. So if you join today's event or an event in the future, that's another way to connect with Girl Up. This is a part of our STEM for Social Good programming. So the idea is that not only are we going into STEM together and learning about science, technology, engineering, and math, but we're doing it for social good to make the world a better place. As you may be aware, 1 in 3 students who pursue STEM are women or girls, and so it's not an equal representation in the STEM fields. To address this gap, we host boot camps like the one today to build our leadership skills and get to learn about STEM. And then we also have some great resources, and I'm going to put another link in the chat. So we just launched a new platform, a new learning platform, which teaches you how to host an event like the one today. So if you wanted to have a boot camp, if you wanted to have a STEM event with your friends in your community, you take that course and it teaches you everything you need to know. So those are just a few of the things that we try to use as tools and as skill building opportunities to make STEM for social good. So I want to hear from you. Do you have experiences in STEM? Maybe not. Maybe this is your first time thinking about science, technology, engineering, and math through a gender lens. But I would love to hear if you've been in a STEM class in school, and have you experienced any barriers as a woman or a girl in STEM? And feel free to put that in the chat. And I would just love to hear everyone's experience on that. I know it's a big question. So maybe this is something too that we think about as we go along today. But it's definitely a barrier for many folks as you pursue STEM. And so what's important is that we find communities like the one we have today on the meeting, and we work together, build our leadership skills, and address that gap. And clubs in Vietnam are already out there doing this fabulous work. And so it's wonderful that we get to celebrate and host an event today with our Vietnam clubs. This is just a highlight of some of the amazing efforts they're doing. In Girl Up Hanoi, they had a computer drive where they collected computers, installed them with local community groups. And so the work is already being done by so many girls across the world, and I have the lovely opportunity of getting to highlight it. So I just want to say thank you all to Girl Up Hanoi, so many girls who are joining us from Vietnam and then girls globally. Thank you for being here and thank you for advocating for STEM for social good. So before we get into our programming and our fabulous content, if you can take a moment and complete our pre-event survey, I will put this in the chat as well. It will just take a minute or two. So you can click that link or you can scan the QR code on your phone and just take a moment. Let me know once you have done that survey. Maybe you can put a thumbs up in the chat or just type in the chat, I finished. This is just so we can measure the impact of STEM for social good and what you learned today. And again, if you finish that survey, if you can just let me know in the chat, I want to make sure we get all of our folks in before we go to the next slide. Awesome. Thank you, Madeline. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Seeing a lot of thumbs up, a lot of done. Wonderful. Thank you all. And for folks who just jumped on, we'll go to the next slide, but if you want to scan that survey or click the link in the chat, I'll put it in one more time. Please fill out our pre-event survey. Okay. So now we've gotten through all the details, everything, the information we needed to get started. We are going to transition into breakout rooms. So the goal of our breakout rooms, there's kind of a few. I'm sneaking some in. So the main goal is to learn more about careers and academic opportunities in STEM. So we are going to have you meet with some of our girl leaders that I had on the slide earlier and talk about what would it be like to find your passion and how would that work if it were a job or a career or a class or an academic path. And so we're going to spend 10 minutes with our Girl Up leaders in your breakout room talking about what are real action steps we can take to creating that path and following that path in STEM, if that's your passion, or maybe it's in something completely different. So what we will do is go into those breakout rooms. They will be in English. And so if you do not feel comfortable talking right now, if you want to use the chat, totally flexible. We just want to put everybody in a collaborative space for a moment. And then if you are looking for Vietnamese captioning, that will be in this main room. So if you don't need to go into a breakout room, you can stay in here. And I think we're still working on getting that captioning up. All of that is to say, we'll put you in breakout rooms. If you want to stay in the main room, you can just exit it and come back in. Otherwise, enjoy the 10 minutes with your breakout leaders and enjoy this activity together as we all learn together. So I will pass it to Kayla to start those breakout rooms. Kayla, let me know if we need some time.
They should be opening now, so folks could go ahead and either accept if you want to participate in English, and then to go ahead and just decline the invite if you want to stay in this main room.
Thanks, Kayla. And it looks like all folks stayed in their breakout rooms. So we can just hang out in this main room.
Allie, I think I'm counting about 6 or 7 people that looks like they declined and decided to stay in the main room.
Oh, I apologize. I'm seeing the speakers primarily in unassigned. Should I be looking?
So people who are unassigned, that would be like staff, speakers. I didn't ask unassigned folks to go to any room,
Got
but
it.
under the rooms, anyone that says not joined is still here.
Got it. Apologies, everybody. Thanks for your patience. I've been looking at some Zoom troubleshooting as well, so I apologize. Well, for folks who are in the main breakout room, we will spend, let's say, 5 minutes or so. First, introducing ourselves. If you feel comfortable typing in the chat, letting me know that you're in the room, that you want to do the exercise together. And then I really think talking through what gets you excited about your future career, maybe your current career, about your academic path, that would be a great place to start. So I am going to put in the chat I'm Hallie. And I really like helping others. We'll start there. So if you can put something similar in the chat, we can figure out what that might look like. Awesome, Kayla. Thanks for sharing that. Lovely, JL. Thank you. Love to build and develop community. That's a great way to put that. Falwana, visiting new places and meeting people. I think you're very good at both of those things. So that's wonderful to see. How thank you so much. And I'm so excited for the people in attendance today to hear from you. Tao will be sharing an excellent presentation about getting involved in STEM and what that career path might look like. So it's a perfect follow-up to this discussion about what are we passionate about and what might that look like in a career or in educational path. And I'm going to send a note to our breakout rooms. Let's see. Lylan, thank you for sharing that. You love to help others and create things. Those are both excellent things to like to do. And I think today you might find that there are some STEM paths, some engineering paths that let you do that work. So thank you for sharing that. I know we didn't do a deep dive into what specific careers or what specific academic paths look like in this breakout room, but I encourage you after this meeting or after this event to think about what do you really like to do and how might that look in a job or how might that look at school? And then writing down action steps to getting there. So maybe that's joining a STEM club or joining a Girl Up club. Maybe that's taking a class at school that really speaks to your love of helping people or learning new things. There's so many different ways that we can take that passion. Okay, and then Kayla, if it's possible, we can start bringing people back. That would be great.
So I just closed the rooms, which means they have a 60-second countdown before they're all forced out of their rooms.
Perfect, thank you. And welcome back to folks who are coming back from the breakout rooms No, we've got a few more who are making their way back. All right. Welcome back, everybody. How were your breakout rooms? Did you have fun? Did you get to connect? I love seeing faces and it looks like folks had a good time. So thank you all for joining us in that activity. They were short. I know. I think, oh, it's always too short, but you know what? That's good feedback because we need some more time together. I agree, but I'm glad you got a few minutes together. So if you don't mind, I am a mom in that I like to take photos of people. So if you are comfortable, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'll screenshot us. So just give me a moment. Let's see. No worries if you don't feel like turning on your camera, but if you do, I'll give you one more minute and then we can take a photo. So good to see everybody. All right, okay, I'm gonna do a countdown. I see some more cameras going on. Give you 3 more seconds. All right, and then I'll take a photo. So on 1, I'll take the photo. So 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Thank you, everybody. I will be sure to send this out afterwards. Okay, let me share my screen and we will get into our first fabulous presentation. So it is my honor to introduce Nguyen Quang Thao, who will be talking to us about fostering a talented female STEM generation in Vietnam. Thao joins us from the Vietnam Energy Efficiency Network, and they do so many excellent things, which I'm sure she will share with us today. But what we really are excited about is the work that they do in getting girls invested in STEM, in promoting the next generation of women in STEM in Vietnam. And then there's also this huge sustainability component that weaves it all together. So I will let Thao share the rest of that exciting information. But thank you so much. And everybody say welcome to Thao. Thanks, Thao.
Yeah, thank you, Hallie. And hello, everyone. It's my honor to be here today and very happy to meet everyone, the Girl Up team, my dearest host, Miss Hallie, our panelists, and all of the participants. So I think that I will start to share my screen right now. So yeah, I think that all of you have seen my screen right now. So before that, I already have a very short introduction about myself. And now I think that I'll introduce again two of our participants. So my name is Thao, and I'm from Vietnam, of course. And currently I'm working at Vietnam Sustainable Social Enterprise, VSSE, and Vietnam Energy Efficiency Networks, which is an initiative of VSSE. And at our organization, we work to pursue sustainable development goals in energy, industry, gender equality, and inclusion field, in which luckily, I have the opportunity to support and work on projects that promote the participants in development of women in STEAM. And to start our story today, I hope that we can start with a very quick, small question to warm up and to somehow understand each other better. And my question is that what are the main challenges or barriers you face in the STEAM field? And I believe that this question has already shared by Ms. Hallie before. But I think that is very important to know this answer from you guys. So not only for me, but also for like Girl Up, they will kind of like it, and it will become a very good resources to support you in the way to like develop your career in STEAM. So please typing out your answer in this chat box, and please note that you should answer with very short, like short keywords. So we will know that what we have in common and what are the difference. So I hope that this question is in like 1 minute, so can share very short, very like keywords about it. And I already have seen some of very enthusiastic answer from you guys here. So I think that after that, I would share with you like sorry, yeah, here. A summary of answer that we have received through our program for STEAM women in Vietnam about these questions. And here is the result that you can see the top 3 challenges and barriers that women have faced in STEAM. The first one is gender bias. The second one is skills and knowledge. And the third one is network and connectivities. Yes, we can see here that we all come from many different cultures, many different countries, from which there will be very unique difficulties, but there will still be difficulties is in common between us, right? And however, based on different contexts, the reasons leading to this difficulty may be different. And to be honest with you guys that I am not an expert on gender or in STEAM, but today I'm here in the role of a kind of developer and implementer of projects promoting women in STEAM. And we're very lucky to like witness the stories of role models of women in Vietnam. So we are happy to be here to provide this perspective on this context and some of our outstanding findings during our projects. And so we hope to like become a very valuable link in the journey of developing leadership skills and motivation of you in STEAM path. Okay, so to start with, I think that I will share with you a story. The story is about a girl named Huyền. And in 2019, she was a very kind of shy student studying in energy engineering major. And now Huyền has become an assistant director in one of the energy company in Vietnam with the image of very active and confident woman here. And Miss Huyền, she's come from a place where there are many like stereotype prejudice about girls having to choose stable career that is suitable for their gender. And therefore, after choosing this major, Huyền still had many concerns about whether this was the right decision for her or not. So what helped Huyền to like overcome all of that and become what she is today is Hwen's stories similar or different from yours and about the difficulties and challenges she's encountered. And through my sharing today, I will share with you that answer, and maybe after that you can get your own story in STEAM. So to do that, first I will mention about the context of women in STEAM in Vietnam. So what's going on? What is the challenges? What are the opportunities for you guys? So we can see here that the rapid economic development in Vietnam, as well as climate changes, are posing very and extremely clear challenges, especially for the development of the human resources. And to be able to both meet the economic development, but also at the same time solve the problem of climate change. And I think it's a very big problem for us. And compared to, according to that context, I think that this is both a challenge and an opportunity to increase the high quality labor to entering this market nowadays. And especially the STEAM industry with a labor demand of about like 75% of jobs worldwide will be related to STEAM field by 2050. So as I mentioned before, to meet the above social economic context, human resources in STEAM will need to increase with a demand up to like 60% of students studying STEAM. And however, currently training in Vietnam cannot be met the demand of this market when the number of STEAM students in Vietnam is estimated about like 27 to 30%. And I believe that this is a quite low number compared to other countries in the region or in Europe. And among them, the number of women can be said that to be quite low when I believe that less than 20% of women participating in STEAM studies in university. And at the same time, the number of women participating in the STEAM labor markets is quite small, about like you can see here is 37%. And especially only 20% of these women are high qualified, which means that for like every 5 women, just only 1 person that is highly qualified in the market. So as for the specific job position, with the data in Vietnam, I think that we have not had a chance to grasp them. But according to like some of international reports, only like 5% of women hold leadership or management roles. And if this compared to Vietnam, actual number of Vietnam, I believe that it maybe can be very lower. So in such kind of situation, so what is the main barrier that limits women participation in STEAM industry in Vietnam? And according to like various studies as well as our findings and a survey across our programs, I think that there will be 3 main barriers. The first one is about the gender stereotypes. The second one is about the limitation of opportunities for women to participate in STEAM. And the third one is considered as a consequence of the above 2 factors, which is the lack of confidence. And so the first one is the stereotypes. From the general perspective of society, women are more likely to suitable for like family-oriented work. I think that this is not 100% bad, because when the image of women in the role of strong role in families, of they taking care of families and they manage the family. However, this is leaves a mark to this day when this way of thinking from parents, from families, and people around has influenced education and awareness from very early stage of young people. And from there, they will also have like further choices, thoughts according to this affected way of thinking. Besides, I think that from the family roles, women will have the additional pressure to balance the family and works when women are expected to get married, to have children, and take care of their family. So this, I think, is greatly affected to choice of STEAM major for women. Yeah. I'm sorry. I think that this may seem like an old information, but in reality, it still happened a lot in Vietnam, I believe, when the career image for women appears to be softer and the STEAM industry appears to be something that might be quite stronger or masculine, and maybe is suitable more for men not for women. I believe in some kind of traditional thinking in Vietnam. And also I also would like to emphasize that this are the most like just cursory assessment, and I hope that that if there is anything that can be added for or further clarified about these opinions, I hope that the following panelists can support to discuss further. And the second one is about the limited opportunities. We can roughly understand here as opportunity for young generation to understand industry, the opportunity for them to be able to advance their career, job opportunities, and expand the connection with the female STEAM community. And the third one is about confidence. I think that all factors are in hindering causes from the perspective of individuals, surrounding people, and the educational environment and the society had caused a lot of confidence in the making decision to pursue a major in STEAM, as well as a loss of trust in women-owned abilities. So to be able to solve the problem, I think that we need to look at the causes and the reason why the causes exist to find a suitable way to approach and solutions for this situation. I think that there will be many ways, many directions for you to find your path. However, I would like to summarize in two main factors how to break down these barriers. The first one that you need to confidence in yourself, and the second one is you will need to have a clear career direction. I understand that breaking the gender stereotypes is very difficult, but believe in yourself, believe in your abilities, and believe in what you can do is what can help you on this path. And after having the confidence, the next necessary thing is the clear career direction. And the orientation can come from many factors combined together, especially three main factors. The first one is a good instructor. The second one is the educational program that provides you knowledge and professions. And the third one is the practical education programs to provide you the readiness to enter to the labor market. To support women in their part in STEAM, as an organization, we have continuously strived to create initiative to promote these two goals above. The first is the future engineering programs, one of our very first initiative to improve capacity and prepare both technical and non-technical knowledge for students through the partnership programs. And we have developed programs especially for women in STEM, such as here, Women Future Engineers, that where female roles model in STEAM are promoted and the connection between generation of female engineering scientists are enhanced. And in particular, we just implement a program at the beginning of this year called She for Future to build the confidence to break down the gender stereotypes and provide career orientation for students in Vietnam. And interesting thing here, do you remember the story of Miss Huyên from the beginning? The image of a student on the left is taken from our future engineering program since 2019. And the image of the confidently standing in front of everyone to share a story is from a She for Future project this year. And you can see that this image of confidence is formed through like gradually removing all stereotypes, daring to stepping out of your comfort zone and challenging yourself and create a path for yourself. And about Miss Huyên, she never considered herself as a successful role model and knows that road ahead is the long one she needs to take. But she knows how to patient with her decision, to consist with her path, and to accept and respect different to succeed. And at the beginning of the sharing, I also posed a question as to like how Huyên was able to walk on her path today. And above are the three keywords of Huyên, which is patient, consistent, and different. And from this girls' development roadmaps, we also build our own roadmaps to support STEAM female community, from raising awareness, capacity building, and developing practical projects to build a generation, to build a community of talented STEAM women in Vietnam, to connect, share, and develop together. And to do this, we need the first thing is the willingness come from you guys. You need to have the will to learn, to explore, to read and learn knowledge from the core things. Why this industry, why STEAM is important, and what contribution does it have to the society, to the trends, to the market status that change every day. And second one that you need to learn more about, like you need to find the real role models of successful women in STEAM and ask what is the factors that make them successful like today. And from their stories, what can you apply and learn for your development goals? And the last one is always be ready when the opportunities comes from like a very brand new programs and exciting knowledge like the coding section that you have at this event, and to specialize program to enhance knowledge and skills like some exchange program, internship programs. And secondly, we call for the cooperation of organization with the same goal, and we hope that there will be more and more organization like Girl Up here. You have been doing very great job for our talented girls here, and we hope that there will be more programs to create opportunities for women to participate and highlight the core beauty and abilities that are within you guys. And to end the sharing today, I would like to give you a quote that you can read here. And beside that, it is another gift that I want to share with you guys. And I really hope through this, you'll be somehow find your path of the answer about your next path that you are taking. And as long as I believe that as long as you have the passion, you have the right mindset that not affected by any stereotype, a pathway to go and in which you enjoy the process and you enjoy the journey and you can make everything possible. So next, please enjoy the story on the videos. Just wait a moment. Do you guys all hear the sound of the videos?
We still see your presentation and there's no sound right now.
Oh, okay. So I think that I will start sharing again. Just wait a moment, please. Okay. So can you see now?
Yep, and we
With
can do it.
Okay.
Tôi nghĩ là ai cũng có khó khăn, nhưng mà để mà vượt qua khó khăn hoặc là chúng ta đạt được những cái thành tựu nào đó thì theo tôi cái quan trọng nhất ý là mình phải có đam mê.
Chị đã có 1 năm học kinh tế, tức là cái ngành mà dành cho chị em phụ nữ đấy, cũng rất là mềm mại. Nhưng mà sau 1 năm theo đuổi ngành kinh tế thì chị thấy nó không phù hợp một tí nào. Thế nên vẫn đam mê về ngành kỹ thuật, ngành STEM và quyết định bỏ ngang 1 năm để quay lại với ngành kỹ thuật.
Theo tôi thì tôi thấy là cái đam mê nó sẽ đến khi mà dần dần bạn có những trải nghiệm. Và qua những trải nghiệm đấy thì bạn lại hiểu hơn về thế giới xung quanh, về xã hội xung quanh và bạn hiểu hơn về bản thân. Thì lúc đấy bạn biết càng ngày càng rõ ra là vậy thì mình phù hợp với cái gì, mình thích cái gì, mình mong muốn là tiến tới đâu. Cái đấy cũng có nhiều tình cờ là tôi hoạt động trong cái ngành nó gọi là kỹ thuật quá trình. Tức là tôi quan sát các quá trình, tôi làm về với quá trình thì tôi thấy là cái quá trình cực kỳ quan trọng. Cái kết quả ở cuối cùng ấy nhiều khi nó không quá quan trọng, mà cái quá trình anh đi đến đấy, con đường anh đi đến đấy mới quan trọng.
Khi mà làm STEM thì cái sự linh hoạt là không thể thiếu với cái yêu cầu hiện tại, và linh hoạt đối với cái sự thay đổi của môi trường.
Mình nghĩ là không chỉ có mình mà với tất cả các chị em phụ nữ trong ngành STEM thì cái khó khăn lớn nhất đó là sự đồng hành, chia sẻ cùng giới trong cái ngành học cũng như là công việc. Ví dụ như bản thân chị trong những năm học thạc sĩ thì chỉ có một mình là nữ. Rồi đến khi làm việc thì có những buổi làm việc, có những dự án cũng như buổi họp thì chỉ một mình là nữ trong ngành. Nên là cảm thấy cũng khá là bị chông chênh, chấp chới. Mà tuy nhiên thì chị đã vượt qua được.
Đến với STEM thì mình cũng vô cùng là bỡ ngỡ. Và mình cũng hơi cảm giác là hơi sợ bởi vì mình chưa tin vào khả năng của mình lắm. Thì nếu như có bạn nữ nào mà còn thấy rụt rè, cảm giác chưa tự tin thì cứ hãy thử thách với STEM. STEM không đáng sợ như các bạn nghĩ. Có rất nhiều những cái lối đi riêng để phụ nữ chúng ta thành công trong STEM.
Bởi vì là cái lựa chọn mà mình đang theo đuổi đấy là lựa chọn rất là thú vị và nó đúng đắn.
I think that that is the story we working into promoting STEAM women. So I hope that is there anything that we can like to see through and to connect with you guys to promote you in this journey, and please share with us. And I believe that not only our organization or Grow Up or any organization, we always here to support you in your journey in STEAM. So thank you so much for your attention, and I think that I'll give the mic to Hallie so we can continue your wonderful events here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tao. That was such a lovely presentation. And I've been reading the chat. It seems like it really resonated with girls. So thank you so much. I know Tao has to jump in just a minute. So if you have any questions for her, please put them in the chat and I will email them to her so we can follow up that way. But thank you again, Tao. We really appreciate it. Okay, we will jump right into our next panel. Let me share my screen. I'm so excited for this next event. So what I will do is I will introduce our speakers and our moderator, and then I will make sure to pin everyone's videos, and then we'll dive in. So it is so wonderful for me to introduce our Leading with Creativity panel. This will be moderated by Madeline Lee, who some of you might have met in your breakout room. She is a Girl Up leader from Concordia International School in Vietnam, and she will be asking our questions today with the panelists, as well as sharing some of her experiences as well. Our first panelist is Annie Vu, who is the CEO and co-founder of TuBud, a platform where young Vietnamese locals can connect with international travels to guide them through their journey in Vietnam. Our second speaker is Dr. Q Lan Phu Wong Nguyen, and she is a research associate at the Institute for Circular Economy Development and a lecturer at Nguyen Thot Thien University. And our third speaker is Jael Zin Thuy Phuong, who is the founder of Monast. She is a top prize winner for the APEC Science Leadership Program in 2022. And then our fourth speaker is Salsabila, who is a research student who works on automotive and green energy in her local university. And she will be talking a little bit about what it is like to be a young woman in research and in sustainability. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'll start putting people's folks on the main screen. Let's see. So lovely to see everybody. All right. Almost there. Okay. So I think we've got everyone. I will pass it over to Madeline to get us started. Welcome, everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, Haley. So to start off, I just want to let everyone know that we're going to be going over some general questions and then also a few specific questions for each of our panelists. If at any point you have a burning question, please put it in the chat. And then at the end of this interview session, we'll go through the questions that you guys have. So these can be for specific people, or it could be a general question that you have for all of our panelists. So we're going to start off with the first question. This is a general question. So if any of our panelists would like to jump in and give us your 2 cents on it, that would be great. The first question is, as researchers and entrepreneurs, I believe that you have your distinguished experiences in navigating your careers in a male-dominated industry. Would you please share with us something that you've learned from your journey so that all these young women and girls listening have a more clear view on what it's like out there? So if anyone wants to jump in and answer, that'd be great.
Sorry, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Annie, and I am CEO and founders of TuBud, which is a tech platform. I am not from STEM background and not from technology background. Actually more on the PR and writing side of things. So I came from a background of where, you know, all of my classmates were women to none of them was women that, you know, I was working with. And I have to call in funds, and I have to stepping into the startup world, which is very male dominant. And at first I dive head in. And so I tried to fight with everybody who have a slight idea to come across a woman in this tech startup industry. And that comes with some examples that I would go head to head and toe to toes with anybody who was like, oh, you know, what female founder is going to be like, or, you know, what can you do? Or, you know, anybody who can ever at the slightest that question my ability in, you know, working with a startup, with a tech startup. And then someone kind of explained to me that why women was, you know, not overlooked in this kind of industry, but the reason why people kind of, you know, turn into men a bit more than women is that we all know that women has our time of the month, right? And so every time it comes up, meaning every month, 12 times a year, our mood change, our hormone change, and a lot of things change. And if we work in an office that's full of women, we kind of sing together. And so we change our mood once a month, but all together, all at once. And it lasts about a week or 2 weeks. And so a lot of people were afraid that that would affect, you know, the mood or the, you know, the results of the company or the results of their work. And so I stopped fighting them. I realized that the problem is not about who I am and about me, about being a woman. The problem is that they need to see my work. They need to see my result. They need to see what I can do for my work, for my company. And so I have to lead with example on that. And so I stopped fighting them. I stopped, you know, compare tiny little things, stop taking it seriously, just about me, because it's not about me. It is about my work. It is about my result that I bring. And I started focusing on what I could do and the result at the end of the day. And I'd start to prove them wrong and start to really stick into what I'm really good at and play on my strengths. And so I kind of earned some respect from some of the males in the industry. But yeah, it is still a long way to go. But yeah, that's a lot of struggling. And that's a lesson I learned over 5 years. So it's not an easy lesson to learn.
Great, thank you so much. If anyone else would like to share their thoughts on this question.
So my John. Yeah, my name is Phương. Yeah, actually I'm not working in industries. So I'm working on academia environment. So for my experience, I just work with my male professor. I mean, so for me, that's not a problem for me working with them, because like from my experience, it's not so it's so hard to contact them. So because we regarding for the female students, so the male professors, so they treat me so kindly, so carefully among me. So I think that's no problem. So I think I can share the story with the girls like that. So no worry much about the gender working on research or academia environment. Yeah.
I have
May I?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Because it seems like two of the first ladies, they have a very gentle journey, because two of them have shared the same similarity. They not come out from the background of STEM, but however, it's quite completely different from me, myself, because I coming from the background of STEM. So I know it's a very strange, but the very fact is that the one of not use the word enemies, but the barrier exactly coming from the women themselves. Why? We are sharing the same gender, right? But because we have heard before, like some lady, they sharing about the common norm about the ladies, like you supposed to give birth, you're supposed to serve the family and the husband going to be, right? So because that mindset keeps stuck in their mind, they believe that if you graduated from high school already, so why do you need to learn BA and you had to do postgraduate as well, because you're going to marry? So you just need to, that level is enough already. Now you jump to STEM. And the rumor has that you flirt men. Why you flirt men? Because you're working among the forest of men. So you try to flirt them, and that the rumor will just follow you, and you have no idea how come that can be the story. But it's very true. So if you're asking me, how can I give like a clear view for the other ladies? So my suggestion will be, you have to keep your mind really firm, because you will be fear offensive or being attacked from other ladies, and you may be surprised with that. But keep that in your mind. Not really every female will support you. So if you want to overcome that, you have to build and develop the community by yourself. Someone supportive in the same gender, they understand you. So they do not give hand in your job, but they lend the year. So sometimes you just want to borrow their year to burst out everything. We're quite different from men, right? Men, they don't ask for help, but we have to support one another. So you have to build a close loop, support you. I'm also a co-founder, and I'm also working in entrepreneurship. So that's why I quite understand that situation when you feel like no one's surrounding you to understand you. So be careful with the other ladies. I know it's very rare, but when you step in STEM, not only from the man-dominated spirit, but also the core mindset of the other lady, traditional custom.
Okay, can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Oh, all right. For me, I'm from STEM background, and I'm a student in industrial engineering basically, but I have a research in automotive, and it has a two field. The first one is Antasena ITS team. It's a hydrogen fuel car made, and yeah, there are all of the participants in Antasena are the students. So I mean, in the same generation. So we are already we have a huge amount of women, and in main research it has 57% in research and development division already. But beside, I also have a research in my university, and it has like maybe called by the internship, and 95% of them are males, and have the different generation because it's a professional one. And what the issues I have is about the problem coming from the woman are not often to given the same opportunity to enter the STEM world, so they do not know how to start and interact in a STEM world. In fact, women and men alike start everything from zero, right? Like in example, when you have two jobs with men colleges, welding and administration, and your colleges are men, they will oftenly taking the technical things and let you do the management things, because they can bear and let women into dangerous things, something like that. And they might not seem if it was the process you do learn. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing. We can move into our second general question. So this is open to all of you, which is you have one thing in common, whether it's working in STEM or more loosely working in STEM. It is your interest in connecting underrepresented groups to opportunities. While Vietnam experiences record level economic growth, there are concerns about inequalities that people experience due to their geography. So urban or rural and ethnic groups, in addition to today's topic of gender. As we pursue careers in STEM or even outside of STEM, how can we address some of these inequalities to create a more inclusive environment?
Maybe I can start. Okay. Nowadays, issues are related each other. Otherwise, the global created SDGs or the Sustainable Development Goals to take the more inclusive program for the development, developed country and developing country. Several years includes the Vietnam and also my nationality in Asia. A different country are only taken the MDGs or the Millennium Development Goals, which is focusing on like the poverty, like the education, child mortality, and etc. So by implementing SDGs, and it can develop the inclusivity for developing country. The needed actions is doing it parallel, and the government program instead have to be parallel. It needs also to be realized that gender equality cannot be realized alone. And this issue must be accompanied by other goals such as poverty, quality of education, to change the society's perspective on women's participation in STEM.
Sorry, I mute myself. Can I go?
Yes, of course. Thank you.
I know that COVID-19 have something very negatively impact. However, I feel see they have a bright side out of the COVID-19. Why? And how it's linked with STEM that we discussed today. But actually COVID-19 and STEM have something I will call take advantages out of themselves. How can it come? Vietnam, we are like a cash market. We do not pay by card, or we're not familiar with the QR code. But guess what? Something the government trying to do for many years, we want it to be like use less of cash, more of QR code. Fair. But there are only 2 years of COVID-19 QR code consumed nationwide. And what does that mean? That means the smartphone, instead of 2G phone, even in Africa, in the mountain and the remote area, almost everyone have at least smartphone in their house. So what I mentioned about the traditional custom is about the awareness. I want to take advantages from the smartphone to make a digital awareness about lady and STEM. We can do it. And we're starting with awareness so that if any young lady, they want to get in, they want to step in STEM, they will not get the against from the family. That's the first thing. And then from the neighbor, some camera running by rise and don't have to accept that, right? And then when they get into the university or the college, they won't be, okay, you are a lady, you can do this and you can do that. And we support you. So it's starting with the digital awareness.
Maybe I agree with Phương channel.
Phương.
Yeah. I agree with the idea of Phương. I think that in the digital era, so maybe not the geography constraints here, urban or rural areas. So the government should invest on about the infrastructures in general. Maybe for in the rural or remote area, they have they can access to internet, have the information. So that easier, like we can have our own capacity to access them and explore new things. And one thing I would suggest, like the maybe friends or the people around us, like friends or family, they should give them the idea. They push them, have the passion, have the maybe the dream something. So from that, so now that dream will guide them to go on the right track. Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion for them. Thanks.
Okay, that's left me. As an entrepreneur, I think, you know, how I contribute to what this is varied, and I try to do my best as much as possible. For example, during these you know, girl up events like this, really trying to inspire the young women, young ladies to, you know, do what they are inspired to do, and don't take a step back and just, you know, keep moving forward. And I agree with all of the speakers today. For me, particularly right now, in my office, we have 90% of the people in my office are women, and they are all young and amazing. They're good at what they do. And yeah, I developed an office, a travel tech platform, an office full of girls. And even so, our platform right now, we have more than 1,000 local buddies working on the platform. 70% of them are actually women as well. 70% of them are, you know, somehow mothers, you know, daughters of somebody, and they love the platform, and we provide a lot of policies that helps them, put them in the advantage, give them a lot more opportunities than, you know, the other, you know, the male, right? And so in each industry, we see that there is an unfairness and there injustice for girls somewhere, somehow. And that's what we are trying to change. And the small part, we can only do the small thing that we can do, but I believe if all of us can act and provide that small bit for each of us and to the people around us, in the family, to the people around us, then, you know, we no longer have these, what you call toxic feminism. We would then love each other more and embrace the woman in us and embrace the lady in leadership. Bit by bit. I think it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of years, but as you know, Jill talk about, the COVID-19 can change in, you know, something of the nationwide in 2 years. And I think this could go very quick as well.
So staying on the same topic of like feminism and just girlhood, could you guys share some of your experiences of people who have inspired you and really personally helped you throughout your journey?
Definitely, I have one. Her name is Nguyễn Khánh Diệu Hồng. So she's at the age of 38. She was become very first young professional. So she's be recognized by the government as become the professor at the age of 38. But what really inspired me, she's a mother of two. So Jasmine at one time, she's giving birth to 2 angels, taking care of the family, working at the university, follow a lot of papers, issue document, and have interview with the press. And then she's become the very first young lady of Vietnam to become at very young age, 38 years old, and she's inspired me a lot. Actually, I feel free to cry with her when I fell, because she's not condemn me. She understands every emotion I pass through, because she stepped in the same, but even worse than my situation. She's not only give me the shoulder, but she's also inspired me. She strengthened me, she empowered me. And that's what the former giving hand to the later. So because I received her support a lot, I want to do the same for the other young generation, because I fully give her an encouragement, and I really love it. I mean, a shoulder to cry on, and she gave me that, and I really appreciate what she has done for me.
Well, that's amazing. I think to have some other woman that you can really share, especially the one who have done it, because, well, I think a lot of the reason why women don't really support, you know, they do support each other, but that's not usually the case, is that because we're very tough on each other, because we know we can do better. We know we can do more, right? And so the first person that I actually looked up to is my mom. My mom is amazing, and she, you know, she raised 2 of us when my mom and my dad started out a business when I was born. So she helped him on every step of the way while raising us, and as well as she started up her own company when she was at the age of 45, so about 10 years ago. So it was inspiring to see that. So now she's an entrepreneur, and for, you know, everything household work, my dad is the only son, so she managed every single thing from the day one, and it's own hard on her. But I think because everything is so hard for her, so she pushed me so hard for me. But she's not the shoulder for me to cry on. I can never come back and cry on her shoulder. I could only, you know, pick myself up, and she would whip me. She would, you know, push me to, you know, my limit, even over my limit. And I think we need somebody like that to be on our side as well. And so I'd love to be inspired. The fact that I have to look at her and I feel like that is, you know, something I need to get, that the level I need to get to, be able to, you know, really tough on myself and, you know, start up and do that. That's great. And of course I have a lot more, you know, role models in the society that, you know, I can learn a lot of the lessons from.
think I have same answer with I need to that who yes motivate me at first is my mom actually, and that's because she has the STEM background also, and she's surviving a lot with her career. And for the current my journey, I also having a supportive others other women researchers support also. And Antasena ITS team, we have 57% women researchers. So yeah, we can like just talking each other without like judging, and yeah.
For me, I don't have the role model for but the one I love most is my mom as well for you. But I can be I can be the model for myself actually. So I cannot answer the question.
Okay, so we have a couple of specific questions for each of you. We can actually start with Dr. Nguyen. So you've studied in a lot of places such as Singapore, Taiwan, Belgium. Can you share about your pathway to becoming a scientist and a researcher, and what's motivated you throughout your career?
Thank you. So I can connect the reverse question, because like other time before, so no one in my relative, my family, maybe family can be a doctor like me. I mean doctor of psychology. So for me, like I have no model in my family actually. So but I think the difference between me and others, like I think I'm have a passion for studying. So I feel like very I'm actually I was happy actually in the childhood. I was happy I can explore something myself. So that's why I just until now I can direct my way to go. So I always know what I want to do, and I need to go further. So for my experience, so maybe I know some of girls joining us like between 13 to 24. So maybe in more than 20. So you are quite confused to persuade to be a scientist, or to be a researcher, or to be an entrepreneur. So is the answer from other speakers. So you need to know what is your strength, what is your passion, and from that passion, so you can learn from each other, and maybe from your teacher, from maybe your boss or your friend, something like that. And from that, so for me, like I like travel, so that's why I'm study abroad, and I feel happy and explore new thing. And maybe I'm quite a introvert, so that's why I'm just build up myself. And then as a lecturer and as a teacher, so I explain my knowledge to my student, and maybe spread the positive energy. And so that's why my student always ask me why you are not so boring, something like that, and you always so happy, something. So I want to expand the positive energy to my student. Yeah.
That's really amazing. Thank you. We also have a question for Ms. Fung. So if you could talk a little bit more about your initiative with Monast, and then also how you've addressed prejudices and just overall discrimination against those who are either currently drug addicts or past drug addicts, and what it's been like just establishing your movement.
Okay, so for those who haven't known me yet, so 100% of the workforce working in Monast is the people who have the drug abuse. So that means they are current or either former, have the history using drug. So you can thinking about the way of the brain, they have been damaged already because they have a time using drugs. That's something you can imagine in yourself. So the reason why 100% of our workforce is drug addict is a long story, but in brief, it's a challenge for one lady working with men only. There's me a time I'm in the class and 60 learners, 60 men only. So I'm the only one female in the class being a teacher. So why I can step into this field? It's about the devotion. And I see a lot of discrimination against those and someone at very young age, secondary school or just high school, when the family split up, getting divorced, I can learn something very different. Female, actually at the young age, they feel very young age, they can firm, they can stand the pain, they can bear the pain better than a boy. So that means a girl can move on her life, but not the same story with a boy. Seeing the breakup between mom and dad make the boy feel really stressful, so they come to drug. So because that's an unending circle, repeated. You guess what? In next 10 or 20 years, jobless. And I will ask a question about the social security in the future, about your daughter and your son. They're living in a social society. A lot of people less a job and they need money to take drug. How would you survive? Right? So because of that, I with the team step into this. We creating job for the drug addict. We teach them. That means we educate them how to use computer, how to do very simple work, meeting with their brain to gain them higher opportunity to get a job, to stand firm on their feet. Because a fish and a hook give them a hook. So for the long-term sustainability, earning a living, right? So because of that, we like until the first fruit can be seen. That's the way I can persuade my mom to agree with me. I continually to work in this journey. So the thing will be in this way, lady, we are wonder girl. Why? When we was young, we have to doing the household thing. We have to have a very nice score at school. When we going to university, we have to walk in high heel, looking nice, still very good score and being so beautiful. And when we at work, we have to work 8 hours per day, right? We come back with a household and we have to be wife, we have to taking of kids. The kids very true, 2 years old, 4 years old, and a husband, a big kid as well. So we can call ourselves a wonder girl. So it's like honor to be with all of you today because we can see ourselves as a wonder girl.
I agree. Thank you so much for your answer. We have a final question because we're running a little bit over time. Annie, I took a look at your website and I love, you kind of seem like the embodiment of confidence and strength. Could you talk a bit about your experience as a CEO of a startup and what your biggest advice would be for any of the women who want to pursue business?
Well, I think that the only challenge for anybody, for girls, is the one in front of them in the mirror. It's always that enemy is yourself, right? It's always you have to overcome, you first. Whatever you lack of, you just, you can gain more knowledge, but if you don't step out, you don't try, if you don't give it a go, you don't, give it a chance, give yourself a chance, that you would never be able to do it. So yeah, I think there's a lot of people kind of look at me and say like, I am very confident, but I think that's, I don't know if that's confidence or just foolish. I just do it. I just go and do it. People ask me to do this, I go and I do it. And some people saying that they may not be able to do this, I would just go and do it and prove them wrong and just help them to get there. So I think sometimes if people spend too much time thinking of, is it confident or is it foolish or is it stupid of me, is it silly of me to do this, then they will miss the chance and they will miss that opportunity. And so just be pretty, put your makeup on, get dressed up, makeup, and show up on time every day, every single day, learn something new and keep moving forward. Sometimes it's hard, you know, life is not all about sunshine and rainbow, right? And we have to expect that to happen. And even the way I see it, I'm pretty much a very positive person, but the way I see it is, you know, the male have to compete with us, because as you know, Miss Fern said, we are pretty Wonder Woman, you know. The male definitely have to look up to us and chase up to us, because they are really far behind, because they can only really focus on one thing. So we have to play on our strength. We are more empathy, we listen better, we do better, we care so much more. So we have to play on our strength, either at home, or is it at work, or is it school or uni, or with whoever. It's easier for us to win their hearts rather than for a man. And imagine the men doesn't have Men Up, you know, campaign or boot camp, right? So these community, these program like this are helping the girls, us, the ladies, the women, to form an army, right, all around the world, to form this. And then we share experiences with each other, we share these knowledges with each other, and it's so much more than what the boys can do. And they have you know, I listen to a lot of you know, CEO talking, and one of them was just mentioned that, you know, when girls go on date, they have this group on WhatsApp, and every single thing they report in the group, and all of the girls will help them to analyze the situation of, is this boy is good or bad, or, you know, his family in this and that. And that's what some of the girl power is for, because we speak out, you know, we express what we think, and we give each other advice, and we give each other a tap on the shoulder saying, good job, you have done it. You know, boys doesn't have that. They come back from a date wondering, is this girl like me, or the girl doesn't like me? They can never find a final answer. But hey ho, girls, we got it. We got your back. We always got your back, right? So it's the same with your career. Talk to some girls, talk to your teachers, and you know, the people around you, form this community, and speak up, and, you know, play on your strength. We are community, we act as a strength. The boys don't have these one. I actually think that they're definitely more accelerated and more startup program for women, and have like supporting female founders. So I am actually in a good position rather than for a male founder who started out. But, you know, if you want to be fair, you have to look at the male also have this, the heavy, you know, load on their shoulder as well, because they are, you know, supposed to be the breadwinner of the family, right? Everything is on them as well, as much as on us. So don't really go head to toe with them, you know, don't really compare what you to you and them to them. You just need to compare to you from you yesterday and the you last week, and, you know, become a better you in the next future. Yeah, so pretty much that for the girls. Hope that helped.
I love that. Thank you so much for your answer. I have a similar question for Salsabia. As someone who represents the next generation of engineers, could you share some advice for the women and girls in this call about pursuing a future in engineering?
All right. Maybe for the future STEM, I think it might be the same generations, like the starting from the Z generations, and for my current path, as Antasena is doing well, because they are cared about the women in STEM, and they have the women as a high-level organizational structure, main researcher, and also the organization representative, like the even speaker or the driver of the car. But I know it's a hard, and maybe not all of the organization doing the same way. So I have also the experience in having all of my colleagues are males, and if the things that I learned from two situations are the first, if our organization is still survives for gender issues, it might be hard at first, but you need to enhance and ensure that your skills are sufficient enough, then you will not get any issues instead of the gender issues, and be confident for our abilities and skills. The second one is try to take the main position and show our skill there, because leveling in organizations are very important of taking decision and making roles over there. The third one is do not shift 100% of your feminine energy. I mean, taking STEM is not about shifting into masculine energy, because sometimes intuitive and a feeling is important in science and technology, and it's for the technology development and its urgency, basically. So the last one is keep learning and be confident with our skills.
Well, thank you so much for all of your answers. I think this is all the time that we have right now, but I'm going to pass it back to Haley. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, to our speakers and Madeline. What a wonderful presentation. Thank you all so, so much. And folks, please feel free to send thank yous and notes in the chat. Thank you, everybody. I'll go ahead and move us along to our computer programming activity. There's so much good things to think about after that presentation. I feel like I have quotes and ideas that I'm going to think about throughout the day on how to really lean in and pursue my dreams, even when there are obstacles. The speakers were so helpful in showing that. So in our last part of the event, we are going to do some computer programming. So let me share my screen. We're going to do a quick overview of computer engineering and computer programming, and then we'll do an exercise together. And this is something that you can do after the event as well. So we'll start it together, and then today or tomorrow or next week, you can keep working on it. So let me share my screen. Can you all see that? If you want to give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can see it. Type in the chat. All right, seeing thumbs up. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so let's just do a quick overview of computer engineering and what that entails. What comes to your mind when you think of computer engineering? Type it in the chat. There is no wrong answer. So maybe you think of your phone, or you think of AI, artificial intelligence. What words come to your mind when you think of computer engineering? Creating things with code. That's perfect. What else? IT, that's a great answer, definitely. And that's information technology. Cybersecurity. These are really wonderful, totally. Design, implementing codes, absolutely. What about, do you have any feelings around computer engineering? Do you feel excited by it? Do you feel scared or nervous? Personally, for my experience, I feel excited, but a little scared about it. I don't know much about coding. I don't know much about computers. And so it's a mixed feeling for me. Intimidating. Yep. That's kind of where I land too. We'll keep sharing those ideas. Fun. I love that, Esther. That's what I'm trying to get towards. So hopefully today we can make it fun. Circuit arrangement and coding. Absolutely. Information of web designs. These are such good answers. Keep sending them in. So computer engineering comprises many different things. Typically, when someone talks about computer engineering, they're talking about the hardware side, but it can comprise the hardware and the software. Many people who would go into computer engineering come from electrical engineering backgrounds or a physics background, but you can come at it from a lot of different angles. I love to see that someone is excited about computer engineering. It's wonderful. So there's a difference between hardware and software, as you might know. Hardware is kind of the external side of your device. So maybe it's your actual laptop, it's the keys that you're typing on, and then software is what you are creating on your device. So computer engineers may focus more on the hardware side, but they interact with the software side as well. And there are two key components to computers' hardware. There is the computer processing unit, sometimes called the CPU or the processor, and then there is the memory. So the processor will tell you how to perform an equation or a direction, and then the memory will store what the result of that is. So let's do an example together. Let's say I wanted to send Kayla and Bawana a photo of my cats, Cutie and Archie. What I would do on my computer is I would take that photo, I would pull that photo from the computer's memory. And when I wanted to email it over to Kayla and Bawana, I would use the CPU or the processor to open my email app, to type what I wanted to say to them, and to send it. So that would be more on the actually doing the equation or actually doing the movement. And if you all want a photo of my cats, let me know. I will do it to you. I will send it to you too. So how does that work? How does that movement actually happen? When I want to send the email through the processor, how is that happening? One of the big foundations of computer engineering and computer programming is a language called binary code, or it's based on binary code. This is basically an alphabet made of zeros and ones. So you can tell a computer to do anything in the whole world by just using zeros and ones. So let's practice this. Try and type out either hello or xin chao in the chat using binary code. So what you'll do is you will just put these numbers together. So for example, if I wanted to type AN, I would do 01000001. And then if I want to do the letter N, I would do 01001110. So that says AN. So see if you can type out hello in binary code in the chat. I know it's going to take a little bit, but just practice it out. Try combining those letters together through binary code. Oh, hi, that's a smart one, Bawana. Maybe try hi. That might be a little bit better, doing H and I. Madeline's got it. Antonia, amazing. So yeah, keep trying it out. See what it's like to be a computer and write a message to yourself. This is wonderful. Thanks, everybody. And computer engineering is in everything. So you can be a computer engineer and do so much, which is really what ties into that STEM for social good side of things, because as a computer engineer, you can make so much positive change. Maybe you are a data analyst and you take data, you clean it, you store it, you organize it, and you present it. Maybe you are into cybersecurity or IT, like we talked about earlier in the chat. Maybe you work on machine learning or AI. There's so many different things you can do. Think about today, have you interacted with a computer engineered product or a computer engineered piece of software or hardware? type in the chat, is there computer engineering that you interacted with today? I think all of us had some challenges with computer engineering today via Zoom. So we're all kind of already doing computer engineering, but how have you interacted with computer engineering today? Yep, my laptop, Zoom, that's been my main way as well. Phone, yep. It's really all around us. And so just like the examples you shared, we've already done so much today that was relying on computer engineering. And the first computer engineer or the first computer programmer was actually a woman. Ada Lovelace was the first person to say, how can we talk to a computer and how can a computer use a processor to actually do an action or solve an equation? So she was the first computer programmer. And today we see that even though the first computer programmer was a woman, there's less gender representation in fields such as computer science, computer engineering. Globally, around 22% of all computer science students are girls and women. And why might that be an issue? Can you think of ways in which gender might be a problem if we don't have it equally represented in computer science or computer engineering? What might that look like? Technology biases, absolutely. Let's talk about a few of them. That's a great point, Daniela. So many of us are familiar with artificial intelligence, with AI. And as we know with AI, the data we put in affects the data we get out. So if we put in biased data, we will get out biased results. And there's some real world examples of this. Recently, Amazon created a software through AI that would look at resumes and job applications and pick the best candidates. And the data they used for the software was based on 10 years of data at Amazon. What they found was because the 10 years at Amazon was favoring men, or it was biased towards men, that the software that they are using today was also favoring men. So the data that was being put in was biased and the data that was being put out was also biased. And so it further reinforced that bias against women. We see this as well with some of the tools that we might use. So I don't know if you use Siri or if you've heard of an Amazon Alexa, but a lot of the tools we use on our phone or on a map that tell us where to go are often in female voices. They are female characters. And we see that when our technology is a male character, it's often a more powerful piece of technology. So for example, Siri is gendered as a woman, and we tell Siri what we want, you know, hey Siri, call my friend. Hey Siri, how do I get to the ice cream store? But with male technology, such as IBM's Watson, that computer is a supercomputer. It has been on Jeopardy. It helps to treat cancer. And so it's much more respected and esteemed, which further enforces those gender stereotypes. In short, computer engineering is everywhere, and we really want to encourage you all, and I want to encourage myself to learn more about computer engineering because there's so much good that can be done by it. So let's start a little activity together. I know we have a few more moments left together, so we're going to start this, and you can keep the website up. You can visit it throughout the day. So we'll just do a trial run together and see how far we can get. So I sent an email last night or earlier today that had a file I'm going to put it in the chat as well. So what you're going to do is you are going to visit this website. I'll put it in the chat. And we are going to do some computer programming together. I'm also going to put a file in the chat that you will use on that website. Again, this should have been emailed to you, but if you don't have the email or if you don't have the information next to you, no worries. You can download the file from the chat and then click that link in the chat. And give me a thumbs up if you've clicked that link and you've accessed the website. Awesome. Seems like thumbs up. Amazing. Okay, let's try some computer programming together. So I'm going to share my screen. And this is an incredible website. I really recommend you check this out later. We'll do a little bit together today, but there's just so much you can do on this website. It's a completely free website. It's in 200 countries. So it's a great tool if you want to use it with your friends, if you want to use it in class. It's just really fun. So if you prefer, the first thing you can do is change the language. I'm going to have it in English, but if you want to go to the top left, you can change it to any language you would like. There's Vietnamese. There's, I think, 200 languages in total. So please feel free to change the language if that's more comfortable for you. And then let's do an exercise. So we are going to create a sustainability poster. This is going to be a virtual poster. So we'll actually use coding to move things around and say different messages. So the first thing you're going to do is upload that file that I put in the chat and that I emailed to you. And all you need to do is hit File, Load from your computer, and click that SB3 file. So mine's already been uploaded. I see that car and the squiggly background, but just load it from your computer and let me know if you see that car and you see that squiggly background. You can just put a thumbs up in the chat again. Awesome. Amazing. Okay. So let's try some things out. We are becoming computer programmers. So they refer to this car icon as a sprite. You'll see in the bottom of the screen where it's clicked, it's selected. They call that a sprite on this website. It's just an icon, or it's something that we will move around. So our first challenge will be, I want that car to say something when I click on it. So we've got the car selected down here. It should be automatically selected for you. Let's go over to the left side and start programming, oops, apologies, and start programming what the car can do. So if you select events, you'll see some different commands that you can tell the sprite or the car to do. So I'm going to say, when this sprite is clicked, I'm going to grab this and put it over into my programming area. So I'm basically saying, when this sprite is clicked, something is going to happen. So let's get it to say something. I'm going to go over to the look section, and I'm going to drag say hello for 2 seconds. So now the programming says, when this sprite is clicked, it will say hello for 2 seconds. I don't want it to say hello. I want it to say, we want it to be sustainable. So maybe it can be a tip about being sustainable. So how about, instead of taking the car, walk to school? Any tip you want. It could be recycle or turn off the lights at night when you leave the house. And I'm going to have it go for 5 seconds. It's totally up to you. Maybe you want it to be a short message. Maybe you want it to be longer. Maybe you want it to say hello. It's really however you want to design it. Okay, now let's have the car move around a little bit. So we will go, again, let's go back to events. And let's say when this sprite is clicked, we'll drag it over here. And then we will move it around. So let's click Control. I want that when I click the car, I want it to move one way and then move back. So it's kind of a complex bit of coding we're going to do. So what I'm going to try is I'm going to grab this repeat under Control. I'm going to drag it under when this sprite is clicked. And then I am going to move it around. So let's go to Motion. And how about move 10 steps? So when the sprite is clicked, it'll move 10 steps. And I want it to move 10 steps a second time. So I'm gonna put it in twice. But I want it to move one way and then the other way. So what I'm going to do is move 10 steps, and then I'm going to say move negative 10 steps. So it'll go one way and then it'll go the other way. And now that I'm thinking about it, I want to pause in between those steps. So let's see if there's something we can do that will actually pause it in between. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's put wait in between those. So when the sprite is clicked, it'll move, it'll wait, it'll move back, and then it will repeat. Okay, so we've done our first bit of coding. Let's try this out. What you can do is you can select your sprite, and it should do the coding that you instructed it to do. So let's try it out. I'm going to click the car. Okay, it gave her a little tip. Oh, and it's moving. It's moving around. There we go. That's our first bit of coding. I know it seems pretty small, but I think that is very exciting. So now let me show you how you can duplicate your sprite, and then I will leave you with this tool so you can try it out for the day. It's so fun. So if you wanted to have multiple tips, if you wanted to have things move around, you can right click that sprite in the bottom corner. You just hit duplicate, and then it'll create a new one for you. So this sprite can go do the exact same thing the other one was doing. Maybe you give it different commands. You can also change the look of it. So if you want the car to look like this, you can go over to costumes in the top left, but then maybe you want the second one to look like a bicycle. You can change it out. And then you can keep doing that. Make more sprites, change their messaging. There's just a lot there. I really recommend checking out this website. They have so many cool programs where you can design art, you can make graphics. It's a great way to start coding, and it's completely free, and there's like 1,000 different things you can do with it. So that's just a brief jump into what computer programming can look like, what you can design, and I hope you have fun with this tool. I'm going to stop sharing. Did you all enjoy that? Was that a fun new thing to try out? I thought it was cool. All right. Okay. Let's do our last few slides together. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I was having so much fun with it. And I'll send a follow-up email with some really cool websites where they show you, I mean, you can create, it looks like movie level graphics. It's so cool. What we did was a very simplified version, but there are some really amazing things you can do. So I totally recommend just trying it out, see what you can create. All right. In our last few moments, we just have a few final notes to share. The first one will be if you can take a moment and fill out our post-event survey. So we did a survey at the beginning. We're going to do a survey at the end. I will also put the link in the chat. Let's see. So you can scan that code, or you can click that link. Just take a minute or two. And once you're done, if you could put a thumbs up in the chat and let me know. Yeah, I'll be sure to send that link to the website with all the cool Scratch activities, and maybe we can email each other about it. We can nerd out over the computer programming. I think it'll be very cool. And again, once you finish that survey, if you could just let me know, I want to make sure we get everybody in before we move on. Awesome. Seeing some thumbs up. Yes, that's a great point. I will send a recording after the event. I'm going to send a follow-up email that will have resources, links, the recording. It will also have a flyer about a free coding course that we have with one of our partners. So if you were really inspired today, they have a live free coding course where you can actually learn specific coding languages. So I'll send that all in an email, and I'll make sure the recording's in that. Okay, lovely. Looks like we finished up. So a few things about where you can go after this. As I said, I'm going to send an email with all of these cool resources, but we also have some really fabulous courses within Girl Up in the Girl Up Academy. So I'm going to put a link in the chat to our recently launched Step Up for STEM course. I mentioned this earlier. This is our course that teaches you how to host an event like this one. It can be virtual, it can be in person, but it's a STEM-based event that you can do with your friends and in your community. And so keep an eye out for this in the email as well. I'll include this as one of the resources, but I hope you'll check it out. It's really fun. You can do it in an hour and you learn everything you need to know about hosting an event. And then our project awards will be coming up this year. So for those who don't know, our project awards are financial awards that we give out to Girl Up girls so that they can host events like this. They can make change in their community. There's so much amazing work that has been done with our project awards. It's typically $1,000 that goes out to a girl to make change in her community. So keep an eye out on our social media. We will share more about that in the coming months. And then if you were inspired today, maybe you want to do a programming event in your community or a STEM event in your school. Those are great application ideas that you can include when we launch the project awards. So just keep an eye out. And then finally, I want to thank you all for coming today. It was so lovely to see you all and to get to interact. I will be sure to send that email with the follow-up information. And I'll also stay on for a few minutes if you have any questions. But thank you for spending your evening with us. And thank you to the Girl Up girls and the speakers who hosted today. It was so wonderful to learn from them. All right, everyone, take care. I'll stay on for a few minutes. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.